100%, hands down, this is it. This is a real deal. This is not a joke. This is a pimp, and I'm being trafficked.
The problem is definitely significant. Milwaukee is a known hub for human trafficking.
I took the bus and I was walking down 14th and Lincoln, and the Jeep pulled up on me before I could get to my destination, and he just grabbed me and threw me in the car. And I tried to go out one door, and he grabbed my face, and next thing I know, I woke up in the hotel room. When I woke up in the hotel room, when he first took me, he said, "This is how you're gonna deal with hell," because I woke up with a needle in my foot and drugged. So really that next day, like transitioning from being sober back to him giving us drugs, is when I realized that this is literally a movie.
Your neighbor could be a victim of that, or your neighbor could be a suspect in that. It's one of those things where you can never say never.
It's a billion-dollar business. A pimp can make millions of dollars with several victims. You can reuse the people over and over to provide a service.
I had felt like a bad dream, like a sick joke. And I just remember repeating to myself, like, it'll be over soon. It'll be done. You're okay. This isn't real. Wake up. The more reality of it hit when he started taking pictures for Backpage. That's when I knew basically it was do or die. The first time I told him no, he slapped me in the face. So I was kind of like taken back by it and just realized that I have to do what I have to do at this point until I can figure out a way to get out. You'll hear people say, "Oh, well, why didn't you just scream?" Well, I honestly tried and I couldn't.
I think it's all over Milwaukee. So if you, in Milwaukee on the south side, there are two corridors, or two or three corridors that are significant, and as well as on the north side in the city.
I called my mom and told her that she had to stop calling because I got my ass beat. And I told her just like that, like, you have to stop, I gotta go, and I hung up. So she called my brother. Thankfully, my brother didn't take it as a joke. And he called his friend. We have a friend on Racine County Sheriff's Department, and he helped ping my phone and find me, and then I met up with Milwaukee Police Department.
I was a detective with Milwaukee Police. I was assigned the Human Trafficking Task Force. There was a call for police, both at a hotel and then at a second location. I replied to the second location where Nicole actually was, and then I interviewed her at length.
I was hiding at the federal building on the floor underneath the desk because I was terrified. I didn't know where the guy was. I had just ran. My brother was yelling at me, telling me to get down on the floor behind the desk, like whatever I have to do to feel safe. And as soon as I heard MPD run in and yell, "Milwaukee Police Department, where is she?" I jumped up and I threw my purse because I knew I had drugs in my purse. And I was just like, "You can have it, I just want to go home. Just take me home, just take me home." And I had never been so happy in my life to see somebody that I didn't know, ever.
She was very forthcoming, and I was able to corroborate with physical evidence different things that she had told me during that investigation. The suspect was at large, and there was a warrant put out for him, and he was later arrested. I'm relieved he's off the street. Definitely relieved that he's off the street. Her resilience is phenomenal. And most victims are. I mean, they have survived things that most of society doesn't want to even acknowledge exist.
Now I am engaged and I have 2 awesome children that keep me going every day. I mean, still have my mental struggles. So now it's just keeping the mentality of I got this and I want to help other people.
She has had struggles, and but you know, she is dealing with them, working through them, and she's doing a great job.
There's younger girls going missing every day, and even boys are starting to go missing. And being a mom now, I couldn't imagine finding out this happened to my kids.
Be aware of your surroundings. It happens in suburban areas, it happens in the inner city, it happens in the country.
Now that you have been educated on human trafficking in Wisconsin, you have seen the impact this is having on people in our own community. This story is just one of many human trafficking cases happening today, making Wisconsin a hotspot in the United States for these terrible crimes. Share this video and you can be the change against human trafficking. The good news is, we are fighting hard to end this. And there are 2 very easy ways you can help. 1, get involved. We are always in need of volunteers and donors for events. We need to support the victims as they recover from the terrible injustice they have lived through. 2, it starts with educating yourself and your loved ones. Listen closely as his father talks with his daughter on how to spot the signs of human trafficking so she can stay safe in today's world.
People don't think this could ever happen to their kid. People think this is something that happens in movies, but it can happen at the mall. I mean, any major US city with an interstate highway system is at risk for something like this. And you just don't, unless you're always aware of who your child's talking to, there's always some element of risk. And the way to stop this, in my opinion, is to bring awareness to the kids, because if the kids were all aware of this, then the source of supply would get smaller.
I feel like a lot of people are thinking this is never gonna happen to me type thing. And people need to be more aware about this and like what can actually happen just like in like a snap of a finger.
I believe approaching it from that angle is very effective, because you can talk to parents all you want to, but you don't know if the kids are having the conversation with their parents. But if you talk to the kids and the kids are aware, and some shock value is brought into the situation as to how easy this can happen. Once children become self-aware, once they get to an age around 11 or 12, and they start to become fully self-aware and actualized about their surroundings, I think you have to have very pointed and very explicit conversations about what can potentially happen to them should they not heed warnings. I've explained to my daughter the things to watch out for when she's in a public place, the cues that people may give you to try to start a conversation, and the ways that people can potentially manipulate you into a situation that you are adversely affected by. Just the way people may approach you that you don't know. There's static references like call this number for a photo shoot, or you could be a model, that type of thing. In more public places in high volume areas such as the Mall of America, she's had people come up to her and just be overly friendly to her and want to get to know her. When we were just sitting in a food court and she was up getting food,
I would have been completely clueless, and I thought that they were probably just trying to be nice, and like who knows where I could have ended up.
the attempts can be very brazen even in public places to just take an unusual level of interest in someone. So that's what I've talked to my kids about. It wasn't easy. In some ways you think that you're taking away their childhood, then other parts of you believe that you're preserving their childhood and fostering young adulthood, just in a term of self-awareness and acceptance of risk.
No matter where you go or who you're with, it can always happen.
I'm not always going to be here. You're going to be a young adult on your own someday, and I'm not going to be there to protect you, so you got to learn how to protect yourself.